I'm feeling so light, hearing the angelic sounds of our ancestors singing through the night for the SupraNova Body. Listen to the realms of beyond, sacred wisdom healing my mind. Chakras align when I listen to SupraNova Day. It's more than a podcast, it's a whole vibe, expanding consciousness as you shift your mind. Tune into the SupraNova Body so you can raise your vibration. Don't be afraid to make changes and create a new you. It's more than a podcast, it's a whole vibe, expanding consciousness as you shift your mind. SupraNova Body, a cosmic party, new way of life, it's a SupraNova Body.
Welcome to Season 2 of SupraNova Body Podcast. I'm your host, Simone Michelle, and I thank you for joining me today as we discuss codependency and breaking free from codependency and understanding what that looks like in our relationships and even some of our friendships. You can even have codependent parenting dynamics. There are so many different ways that codependency can show up in our life, in our dynamics, in our work self, how we operate with our children, in so many different ways. With today's episode specifically, we're going to focus on codependency in relationships and what that looks like. So go ahead and get you some tea if you don't have any. I currently don't have anything in my cup right now because I'm busy. I didn't have time to brew any. Okay, all right. So just to give you a brief understanding of what codependency is and what it can look like in your life, we'll start there. Codependency can look like the savior complex, where you feel like I have to be the perfect Proverbs 31 woman. I have to be tired at the end of the day. I have to take care of everything that my partner needs. I have to make sure that I have cleaned the house, that I have taken care of the laundry, I have taken care of the children, I have taken care of my partner, I have taken care of everything, and I am completely selfless and depleted, completely burnt out and dry. It can look like having to do that because your identity is found in that. It can look like not taking time out for self-care, not taking time out to spend time just with yourself, to see how you're doing, to check in with your feelings, to get a better understanding of where you're at. It can look like running around the house, running around your neighborhood, running around everywhere, running errands for everyone else, and not picking up your own laundry or dry cleaning, not taking care of your own hair, not taking care of your own body, but everyone else is meal prepped for, prepared for, cared for, and tended to. Codependency in our relationships can look like you being in a relationship with someone that is either dependent upon drugs or emotionally immature, that doesn't have the capacity to give you what you need, so you deny all of your needs and you ignore the fact that you have needs, and you feel that if you were to take time out to focus on yourself, that would be selfish. Codependent relationships lead to burnout, severe, very tiring, toxic burnouts that can leave us so depleted and drained. Have you ever left a relationship, and after you leave that relationship for months or weeks, you just have no idea who you are outside of being that person's partner or wife or husband or spouse or whatever? That is sometimes a clear indication that you were in a relationship that was extremely codependent. The other person could have needed you so much that you didn't have time for yourself. And their need for you felt good. It felt like it was something that you needed to live, something that you wanted to hold on to for the rest of your life, because it gave you purpose, it gave you meaning, it gave you some kind of validation, it made you feel great and powerful. Another aspect of codependent relationships can sometimes be imbalanced power dynamics. That could look like being with someone who does not have the capabilities or the mental capacity to pay bills, so you pay them. It could look like you doing all of the work around the house because they're just not capable. They may be strung out and just don't have the ability to do that. So you do it, you take it on, and you pay the bills. There's an imbalanced power dynamic where someone cannot meet the needs of the household or the other person. There has to be a sense of equality and reciprocity in relationships, or they can become very toxic. You can also begin to see that narcissistic personality traits begin to display themselves in relationships because of the improper or imbalanced power dynamic. That can look like the person paying all of the bills uses the money to control the other person and says, well, we can't do this or we can't do that, or I make the money, you don't make any money, so we're not going to do that. And how you feel doesn't really matter because I'm making all the money. However, if that person were to try to make their own money or try to get some sense of independence, then the other person in the codependent dynamics will then start to feel like, oh my gosh, like, well, they don't need me anymore. And what am I going to do outside of this? Because this is where I found my identity. So it's possible that, we can be in relationships like this. I myself have been in many codependent relationships before I learned what they were, because I didn't have a sense of self outside of my relationships, outside of my marriage, outside of being a mother, outside of being a daughter. I didn't have a concept of self. While I was a giver, I was a lover, I was all these different things. I didn't know how to take time out for me, how to have boundaries, and how to love myself, right? I looked like I loved myself. I was in great shape. Okay. I look like I cared about myself. I look like I put myself first. I look like all of these different things, but it was also extremely hard for me to do that. And my motivation for doing those things was not for me. It was for my partner they were happy when I looked this way. They were happy when we were doing these things. So I did everything for the pleasing of other people. I was a high level people pleaser. So that led me to be in situations that at the end of the day were not very beneficial for me and left me very drained. So codependency in relationships is possible to happen. It's easy to kind of dive into those things, but there are many reasons for it. So now you have a better understanding of what codependency is. I hope you continue to listen to understand ways to begin to heal that within yourself and understand the reasons for it. Those reasons could be low self-esteem. That could stem from someone telling you that you simply aren't worth it, from parents that didn't show you love in a way that you could receive it, toxic situations or traumatic incidents that occurred in your childhood or adolescence that shaped how you view yourself in relation to the world. That can look like, an example would be high school, going to high school and not having very many friends. And then the friends that you do have or did have did not want to hang out with you unless you were doing something for them. So that could look like buying their part of the trip, or driving, or providing all the illegal alcohol, or whatever that made you some kind of benefit. Outside of that, you may not have been invited or included in situations unless you offered or you made yourself available for these people, so that they would like you. Getting constantly reaffirmed that that is how people view you, or that's where your value is found, can then make you look at yourself like that is all you deserve, or that is the only kind of friends that you should have. When in reality, friendship is reciprocal. We have 3 tiers of friendships. Friendships that you know will never be balanced. They will never have the capacity or ability to give you what you give them. However, what they do give you is worth the same to you. So you view what they're giving to you as important and valuable, and they value what you're giving to them as important and valuable, but they are definitely not the same. Not the same kind of currency, but definitely the same kind of energy. The other kind of friendship is where you guys are on the exact same level, and you know that it's a reciprocal situation. You guys use the same currency to feed into each other. And then a higher power dynamic where you are on the lower end of that and you're receiving what you know you can never repay, but what you're giving to that person is the same energy currency. And so if you find yourself in situations where the energy currency is never reciprocal, where the energy that they're giving you, or maybe were giving you in high school, was not beneficial to you, it wasn't something that you could translate into a need for you, then that was imbalanced, and it was something that began to set the phase or set the stage for your attracting codependent relationship type people. So, how do we identify a codependent relationship when it's coming at us? What are some of the telltale signs that can show us, that this might not be a good situation and I should probably take a step back? One of the first things is imbalanced power dynamic. Again, like when you have your friends where they might be on different levels. In your relationship, what are you bringing? What are they bringing to you? And how do you view that? Do you view that it's an equal exchange? Or do you view that you have more power in the relationship? And that if it continues in the direction that it's going, you'll always maintain more power in the relationship? Or on the flip side, you seek out or desire people that are more powerful, more wealthy, more educated, so that you can be provided for or taken care of or supported, so that you have someone to rely on. Those are things that you can see coming and say, you know what, I don't think this is going to be healthy in the long run, because what it's setting both people up to do is to rely heavily on each other. And in relationships, it is important that you build a strong relationship with your partner. It's important that you rely on each other to a certain extent. But with codependency, it becomes toxic when that power dynamic, it just can't be balanced. And it's not going to ever be balanced because people want it the way it is. A more even power dynamic is you guys are both coming into the relationship. You might not be where you want to be in your careers, but you're still striving. You have an idea of where you want to go in the future or what you want to do with your life. And so you're clear on what that's going to look like for you. They're clear on what that's going to look like for them. And you guys are both two individual people that have their own thing going on. So the power is more evenly balanced. You can be very traditional and be like, I'm not working. My husband going to take care of me. I'm going to take care of the house. Okay, fantastic. However, in those situations and dynamics, it still has to be balanced. They have to both value what you're doing and see it as a positive contribution that is worth its weight in the gold that it is. And you also have to see them as having an important and equal role in the housing dynamic. So even if one person is out of the house and one person is in the house, you both mutually respect each other and are individual people outside of one another. So even if the mom is at home and she's doing what she wants to do, or the dad, some dads like to stay at home too, even if they're at home doing what they're supposed to do, they're still taking time for their individual selves. The mother or the father is not fully invested in the home and ignoring and neglecting themselves. And the partner that's outside of the house is not neglecting their responsibilities to be at home, loving and caring for their family as well. Both people have their roles, they're doing it to the full extent, and they both recognize the power of reciprocity, right? Okay, so that's a better explanation or idea of how to kind of see codependency coming, right? Or recognizing it when you're dating or when you're talking to people and you're getting an understanding for who they are and what they're into and what they like and what kind of future they see for themselves. A good way to find out where someone is with their ability to have an individual personality, lifestyle, is to ask them, what do you do for self-care? What do you do to take care of yourself? What kind of time do you spend to get to know you? Do you journal? Do you take time out to just check in with your body? And do you take care of your mental health? Do you take care of your body and go to the gym or maybe get your physicals? Are you up to date on all your physicals? Do you go make sure that you're taken care of in all the ways that you should? Do you take time out for your spiritual relationship with whoever you believe in? Do you go to church? Do you worship Jesus? Do you love him? Do you practice whatever you believe in? If you're a Buddhist, how regularly do you practice? Where are you at on your pursuit to nirvana, to enlightenment? Where are you at with that? What do you do for you? What routine have you established? What does your career look like? Do you have a clear idea of where you want to be in your life and in your future? Or are you more so whatever they want to do? When you find out that the person that you're interested in may not be where you would like them to be, you can simply ask, are they willing to, learn something new? Are they willing to go to counseling? Are they willing to just expand their mind on learning how to be an individual, repair some things? Maybe they haven't been through their healing journey just yet. Maybe you're in a place where you don't mind walking with them along that. But again, remember that we're stepping into that danger zone of you being somebody's savior, right? And establishing a very unhealthy power dynamic with a potential mate. Yes. So we all have the ability at the end of the day to make our own choices, do what we want to do in life. Some of us may realize, like, I like it that way. Okay. It feeds my ego. I have no desire to change this at all right now. I don't have the capacity to change it at all. And that's fine. Do what you do with where you are at the time that you're there. But if you do want to begin to make those changes and you realize that, I've been dating the same kind of person and it always ends up the same. I end up depleted. My bank account is low. I feel like I've wasted more time on someone that I didn't need to be with. And I saw all the red flags and I ignored them because the idea was really nice. The first thing to do is check in with you where you are. Are you feeling this way, or are you seeking this out because of the little child within you that wasn't nourished or fed or held or loved in the way that you really needed to be? It's okay if that is the reason. You have the ability now to be that parent to yourself. Take yourself out to get that food. You got McDonald's money now, go get it. Get yourself a stuffy. Get yourself whatever, you were denied for whatever reasons, and make it work. You have the capacity to heal yourself and love yourself through whatever life has given you, whatever life has created for you that may not have been the best. Taking time out to, maybe deal with your parents if you have unresolved issues there. Forgive them. Realize they did the best that they possibly could. And now it's on you to do the best that you possibly can with what's left of your life. Highlight and identify where this came from, right? Did this come from a situation or experience that happened that made me question my wealth, that made me question my worth, that made me question my dignity? Did I make a mistake? Did I choose to do something that was against the status quo? Did I do something that was taboo? Where am I at in my experience? I'll use myself as an example because that's all I can do. I felt for a while as a single mom that, oh my gosh, I'm damaged goods now. No one's going to want the single mom. No one's going to want to deal with these kids and all this stuff. And no one's going to want me as a person. And I felt that way until I started dating and realized that there are so many people out there. You've really got to be selective and really careful, because there are a lot of people that really do want single moms, but why, right? What is their motivation? So it wasn't about me being a single mom. That didn't diminish the quality of person that I am. It didn't take away from my ability or capacity to love. It didn't take away from my ability or capacity to grow or change or develop. It didn't take away my capacity or ability to parent. Yes, it became a lot more difficult, but it didn't take that away from me. So my idea and concept of myself, when I began to repair that, changed, and I was able to let that go. So I no longer had to date beneath what I felt I desired or should have in a partner. I was able to resign within myself that what was for me would be for me, and I wouldn't have to settle or put myself on the clearance rack or do any of the things that sometimes can lead to a very codependent, toxic relationship. So once you define where this is coming from, it can be coming from a lot of places, okay? It can be coming from over there, up there, down, everywhere. But once you begin to isolate where these feelings of value and worth are coming from, then you can begin to make changes, right? You can begin to make healthy choices that will change your perspective and idea of yourself, so that you begin to draw to you people that also view you as worthy and valuable as well. So, self-esteem no longer being an issue. Finances sometimes can be. You could either be so immersed in work, so immersed in service, so immersed in your life that you don't see the importance of taking time out away from these things because it's keeping you busy. So you're not taking time out to really focus on you, which leads you into another situation where you just get to be really busy for somebody else. That can also come from finding your worth or value in being busy, in being needed. Where is this need coming from? Where is this desire coming from? And once you find out where it's coming from, just like with self-esteem, then you can begin to address that. Why do I need to be needed? Why? What does it do for me to have people dependent upon me? I remember when I first started teaching my kids how to do stuff, back in the day, I would be like so tired, like, oh my gosh, this is going to take so much. I'd just rather do it myself. I'd rather do it myself because teaching these people how to do this is going to take forever. And then I learned how to teach them, because in the repetition and in the doing it over and over again meant that I wasn't going to have to do this forever. So if we get to a point where they're not dependent upon us, are we now bored? Do we now not have an identity? Or are we free to do other stuff? Like, where are you at in the process of that? And where are you in your feelings with being needed? What if your partner doesn't need you? Do you feel like he'll need another woman, or another man, or whatever? She might need another woman or need another man, whatever. Where are you feeling that they will go? Do you have to perform in order for this person to stay? If you don't give them money, are they going to get it from somewhere else? And is that okay? And if it's not okay, why? What does that mean about you? What does that say about you? Having a really good understanding of yourself will really help in life to keep the codependency, right? Because that's the ultimate goal, is to really be able to be healthy, happy, and moving forward with your life in a way that best serves you, in a way that best helps you to just be happy, right? Codependent relationships are very draining, very toxic, and they take a very negative toll on our mental health, our body, our life, everything. So if we can avoid being in these situations intentionally, I think our lives can all be better. So join me in the next episode as we dive further into codependency, because there's more I didn't share. So I hope that you had a great time. Just kind of, getting acquainted with codependency and seeing how you're feeling about it. And I hope you tune into the next episode. Again, this is the first episode of season 2. season 2. And I hope that you have a great day.